The only other thing I was going to cover tonight, like, you guys, are you excited for Ironheart when it comes out? Because that's going to be quality
but
viewing.
For all the wrong reasons, just because this show's been done for like 2 years, and I can't wait to see what Frankenstein monster it comes out as.
It's only a few weeks away now. We're getting pretty close to it. It says that Marvel's, this is from That Part Place, by the way, it says Marvel's Ironheart is gearing up for closing out Phase 5 of the MCU on Disney+. The studio appears to be going full damage control mode ahead of the premiere. Despite fans still scratching their heads over her inclusion in Black Panther Wakanda Forever, Marvel's now rolling out legacy name drops, strategic comparisons, and emotional appeals in a thinly veiled attempt to build hype and legitimacy for a show that few even asked for. It says in a new feature with Empire, Dominic Thorne, who plays Riri Williams, recounted her brief encounter with Robert Downey Jr., describing the interaction as an exciting exchange where the actor gave her a few words of encouragement and literally 2 thumbs up. I read
like a headline that characterized that as like Robert Downey Jr. gave her his blessing as though he's the Pope of Iron Man, and it's just like, that's not going to make me excited for your character.
Don't mess it up.
I just like to imagine they passed each other in a corridor or something, and she was like, "Hey, like Robert, I'm going to be Riri Williams in Ironheart," and he's like, "Yay, great!"
I pictured his wife telling him, "Robert, go message that girl and tell her that she's good," and then okay, honey. And he gave her the
actually gave her thumbs down. That would have been funny as
fuck. Well, there's an interesting comparison as well that that she drew here with Tony Stark. She said that when she talked about Riri Williams as a character, she said that she's dumpster diving, whereas Tony Stark was a bajillionaire. What she is able to accomplish is remarkable. So essentially, she's able to do as much as he did, but with no resources.
But Tony Stark was able to build it in a cave with a bunch of scraps. It's not unique to her character. Her character, as introduced in Wakanda Forever, is just, for a high school science experiment, she can do anything she wants for anyone at any given point. She like build vibranium detectors, build fully functioning, awful-looking, shitty, cheap Transformers version of the Iron Man suit.
Yes.
And then we just don't hear about her again until 2025 when she's being shat out onto Disney Plus in the hopes that nobody will notice.
Do you remember the last trailer where the guy in it said that no one like rich basically got there by not stealing something when she's like limiting having to steal parts for the suit? Come on, we know what this is going to be.
You almost want to have it all happen to their generation of creations. For me, like, so after her story is told, I want to come in and have my guy who's he's actually got nothing. He's not like Riri, who's able to dump.
He doesn't have any arms or legs either.
Literally,
he's like Pickle Rick, basically.
He's got like one finger and he's only got a screw. And we leave him alone in a room and we come back and he's got the best Iron Man suit you've ever seen. It's like
all we have left, Mauler.
He had so much to have to fight for. He's not like Riri, who got everything supplied to it. You know, it's like just pull the same thing. And then the next generation, there's like a little rat who makes an Iron Man suit. You're like, he had nothing compared to those 3 others.
I like that.
It's the cheapest, laziest way, though, of trying to build up a character. And I know exactly what they're trying to do with this. It's the same thing they've done with essentially every mainline MCU character when they found a more diverse replacement for them. They basically say, this person was able to do as much as the previous guy, but with fewer resources. So that makes them better. You need to like them more now.
Well, they tried it with Sam Wilson in Captain America 4. So they, well, you know, Steve Rogers, he was okay as Captain America, but you give people things to aspire to. Unlike
empathy.
The fact that you happen to have the most powerful suit in all of existence is neither here nor there, and the fact that you steal everything you've got is also neither here nor there. You're just better because, you know, you're Captain America and it needs to be better. Everything always has to be better. You're the next big thing, so we'll just blow smoke up your ass until it's true.
Was that Falcon and Winter Soldier or the movie? Because I was writing my script for Thunderbolts and I realized that I can't remember the movie despite seeing it 2 months ago.
It was the movie when he turns up in the hospital and like Sam says, because like Sam's like Falcon 2 face plants an ICBM because he's stupid, and then he goes to hospital and Falcon's like, oh, if only I'd taken the super soldier serum like you, Bucky, that wouldn't have happened, which makes no fucking sense. And then Bucky says no, because you're actually amazing just as you are. And, you know, I'm not going to mention the fact that I didn't take the super soldier serum. I was forced to have it. You don't need it. You know, Steve Rogers, he was just good, but you give people something to believe in. So good for you.
Whereas Steve
It's
Rogers
just-
didn't give people anything to believe in.
No,
the
no,
guy
he's
that
famously the most boring.
empathy
No one
with that
cared about
character.
him.
What did they
Yeah.
say? Like he gave them something to aspire to, and you give them something to believe in.
It's something like
What
that.
distinction are
Well,
you trying to draw even here? Like,
they
it's just like,
retarded
do we just have to
logic.
give vague platitudes to everyone?
The retarded logic drinker is that no matter what you do, you can't get to Steve's position because you don't have the super serum. However, you can get to Falcon's position. When I think the reverse would be argued, because you can get stronger and faster with training, but you can't get a vibranium fucking Iron Man suit free of charge provided by a crazy Wakandan state that hates the whole world in terms of like resource
Ethno state.
management.
But Marvel will never ever criticize them because that's not
Which is-
allowed.
It's like
I-
Steve,
I've,
not achievable, but Falcon totally achievable. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? No,
Because there's a story to be drawn from that of a guy who like can't possibly measure up to Steve and who's not as strong, not as fast, all the rest of it, but who gets through just through sheer fucking refusal to give up, just determination, and takes an absolute beating in the process. You could do
But also-
something with that.
John Walker did nothing wrong, and holy hell,
Yes.
the super soldier serum should be a requirement for being Captain America, bare minimum.
Well, there's
I mean,
enough of it around that you think you could give it to all of the candidates at this point. But it's also
3 or 4
doubly
different
funny that,
versions.
post-credit scene in Thunderbolts, By the Way, Aren't We So Back, has Sam Wilson, who's just been complaining about, how in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, evil capitalism keeps the poor man down. And then in Brave New World, it's, well, you give people something to aspire to because people can, be just like you. And then you get to Thunderbolts and he sues you for copyright infringement if you try to be a hero.
Yeah.
He's just a dick. And
He's a
so,
dick.
but it's how interesting Ironheart is that we're talking about a completely different character. But it's
Yeah, I was
kind of the
about to
same.
say.
Kind of the same problem, right? It's just going to be another completely shallow, empty vessel character, and they will keep telling us how awesome she is, and we will never ever see it.
Yeah.
Well, they'll have the excuses teed up as well, because if anyone criticizes
Oh,
this show,
yeah.
well, we know exactly what will be called and why.
Correct.
It's like,
I am a
okay.
Luddite. I don't like technology. That's why I'm criticizing it.
Are
Don't
they
hate
going to
me.
Sure,
go
of
with?
course.
Are they going to go with sexist or racist? Or
Yes.
Racist.
Well-
But listen. Is it going to be you're a racist sexist or you're a sexist racist? Which one's going to come first?
I think what they need to do is make her gay as well for the Holy Trinity of
Ah.
protection. Because I think there's no reason why they can't do that. So
Ironheart's gay,
might
by
as
the
well.
way.
Yeah,
Start a whole thing.
it's like,
Yeah,
well, we know there's a reason why this was made about 2 or 3 years ago, and it's been in the can all this time, and they just haven't released it. They know they failed with this one. They know
Well,
it's
that
a
and,
product of a different
Armor
era.
Wars, right? Armor Wars was supposed to be connected to it, and I think they just bailed on that.
They canned that one completely, didn't they? So that will
Yeah.
never ever come out. But this one is, and I don't. So she presumably is coming back in Avengers Doomsday, because why bother releasing this if she's not?
Mhm.
But then if it was all made 2 years ago, does that mean that it's set back in time before a bunch of recent stuff, or have they updated it, or what? I mean, where is
Who
the story
knows?
set?
Who cares?
Who knows? Yeah.
Um,
Did you say
the-
Doomsday is going to be 2028? Is when they say it's taking place?
My understanding of it as well is like it's not because of any future tie-ins or anything like that. They're literally releasing this because contractually they couldn't get out of it.
Oh,
That's all it is. They would have to pay too many penalties to all the different actors involved and their agents and all that stuff, and they have to do it essentially. And they're probably going to shart it out onto Disney Plus all
Like
in one
Echo.
go. Get it
Yeah.
out as quickly as possible, and hopefully people won't notice. They won't promote it, and they'll just forget about it.
To be fair, that's what happened with Velma season 2. I mean, I know that was over on HBO Max, or Max as it's now called. They dropped the trailer the day before release date. They shouted it all out, just got it out there on Max in one day, and nobody noticed it. It actually worked for Velma season 2. They were able to just quietly bury it under the carpet, and that was it. So it might work for Disney.
Yeah. It's also diminishing returns of people showing up to hear you talk shit on it.
Yeah,
'cause
although
people
to be
just have
fair-
already checked out.
Yeah, people were done with Velma, whereas with Ironheart, I think people will be interested to see just how bad it is. There will be that morbid curiosity. People want to examine the corpse.